Hey guys, and welcome back to my world. Now I'm still busy with the grave mechanic, and as well as many other ideas, and it took Adrian Brightmoor to poke me on Twitter to say that he wanted to add a ghost mechanic to my grave, and then when he downloaded the map realized I had already done so, and that he's absolutely correct. So I did add a ghost mechanic and a number of other things, but I just kind of forgot to make a video about it. So I'm very quickly going to show you, and for those people who haven't seen my player graves, I'm going to show you the ghost mechanics. Right, so if I just go out in the world somewhere, let me just get rid of this while I'm flying. If I just go out in the world, anywhere in the world, at least 50 blocks away, so this looks like a nice spot. So if I come over here, and I actually splash some XP. Now the way the mechanic works, so if you haven't actually seen my last video, is that it checks for XP, the youngest XP in the world. It checks if a player has died. Now the way that it checks if a player has died is I've got an objective set up that is called Grave, that tests for that has a objective of a death count. So if I die, it automatically increments by 1. So it tests for the youngest XP orb. So if I've got XP orb there, and I've got XP orbs here, and let's say I've killed some things over there, and I've killed a few things over here, and finally I actually die over here. Okay, so when I die, my grave score gets set to 1. Okay, and then it'll detect the youngest version of that XP, and it'll then spawn the grave over there, and then just clears out the XP of all the others. I mean, you have died, so you know what, you don't deserve to get XP. So yeah, that is the initial mechanic. So if you now have a look, something that I didn't have before is a ghost. So I now have a player ghost. If I go into adventure mode, so I've actually now optimized this to be adventure mode friendly, game mode 2. So if I go into adventure mode and I let this ghost kill me, okay, there's a couple of things I want you to see. First of all, you'll see that it says Dragnoz was slain by ghost. Okay, so I was slain by a ghost. You'll see these XP orbs floating around. So if I now head back, so let me just go game mode 1. So let me just quickly head back to where that was. You would expect that another grave spawned, but there hasn't. As you can see, there's only one grave. Now the reason I've set this up is that it actually tests, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't really mind that there's multiple graves in a spot. What I do mind is that every time I die, a new ghost spawns, because the last thing you want is to get to the spot, you've got 20 graves and you've got 20 ghosts killing you instantaneously, spawning another grave. So it actually now tests to see if the ghost is in a loaded chunk, okay, and if it is, if it can find a ghost, it won't spawn another grave. Okay, so this kind of makes things very interesting. So you can be wandering around 1,000 blocks away from spawn, and suddenly you get a notification like this that says a ghost has appeared in the world, meaning that you are close by to a ghost. You're with somewhere in the chunks that is loaded. Close to you there is a ghost. Okay, you'll also see the world event says that there's a ghost close by. Now a couple of things about this ghost. So if I just go back into adventure mode and give him a good old thrashing, game mode 2, okay, if I now kill him, okay, he's got a bit of speed on him, he actually drops an axe. Okay, and he'll only ever drop this axe. Now this axe is very special. First of all, you'll see it's called a ghost key, and you'll see it can actually break cobblestone, dirt, and stone stairs. So because I'm in the new adventure mode, I can't break anything at all, and I cannot place any blocks. Okay, and if I use the axe, you see I cannot actually break it. However, the axe, as it says, can break stone stairs, so I can actually break this stair over here. So there was another ghost somewhere in the world, so I can break this stairs over here, and I can break this block over here. Okay, cobblestone block, but I cannot break the sand, so there should be sand underneath here. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, and I can't break. So as you can see, I can't break the sand. I can break the dirt, and then if I don't have this key, you see I can't actually open it. It says there the coffin is locked. However, if I right click with the axe, you'll see I can open the coffin. So I haven't set up the random spawning yet. That is still a biggish job that I will do in time. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much most of the changes. So let me just quickly go in mode 1. Okay, let me just quickly show you the whole ghost loading and unloading of the chunk bits, that just so that you can actually see how that actually works. So if let's just say I'm going to spawn it, will this chunk be yes, let's go a little bit further away. Okay, let me plop down some XP here. Okay, and I put my my grave to 1. Should now spawn a grave. Okay, and you'll see that it says here at the bottom, a ghost has appeared in the world, and on the right side it's turned up, it became red and said ghost close by. Now if I actually move away from spawn, so let me just see which is that the teleport one, just to get right. So if I now move away from that chunk, okay, oops, the moment I move, that chunk unloads. So I'm far enough away from the chunk so that it unloads. You'll see that it says the ghost has gone, and then when it loads again it says the ghost has appeared. So I don't know, right, so that somewhere there is a ghost in the world. Okay, so that is very, very cool. So it's gone, and if I move into a chunk and it loads, you'll see it says a ghost has appeared. Okay, so I mean it is a big area, but this kind of adds a whole new dimension of, you know, having to track down where people have died, and you know, being able to rob their graves. It's pretty neat, pretty nifty. Okay, so just to recap, I've added a ghost guardian that has a key, that the coffins are now locked. The XP orb does not detect within a 50 block radius. So if I, for example, do die over here, okay, you'll see that nothing will happen. Okay, it does not detect the XP orbs within a 50 block radius. So if I do splash the XP outside of a 50 block radius, okay, you will see that the XP tester over here actually detects it and turns it on. Alright, so it won't, however, it doesn't detect these over here. Please do download the world. I've referred to my last video on how this whole thing works. The only things I've added is I'm now spawning the ghost over here, and then I'm teleporting the ghost. I'm teleporting the ghosts to the XP orb, and I've added the mechanic that just tests for a ghost and then locks this repeater. So both these repeaters needs to be true for the signal to work, and then these just make announcements and sets the ghosts into various teams and so forth. I think that's about it. Oh, I have a request, guys. I can no longer keep up with suggestions and comments and so forth on the videos. Okay, it's getting very, very difficult to actually determine who said what and who's responsible for what ideas. I mean, the two that I could find was Tyra and Summon suggested I set this so that you can't spawn multiple graves in the actual spawn area, and Nathan G suggested I lock the chest. Now, these are the people that said it first. So on each and every single video, I get multiple people saying the same thing over and over and over. But I normally just copy the first person to say that. Okay, cool, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. And as always, I will check you all later.